You're strapped in to a live radio broadcast on Pure Rock Radio.
Get your piece of the internet with GoDaddy.com. Go to purerockradio.net/GoDaddy for coupon codes to save. Like 10% off all GoDaddy hosting plans. $5 off any GoDaddy purchase of $30 or more, or $7.49 domain names. All from our new sponsor, GoDaddy.com. That's purerockradio.net/GoDaddy for a complete list of coupon codes, or enter POD167 to save 10% on all GoDaddy hosting packages today.
Welcome to the Used Bin. All music, all the time. What are you listening to? Used Bin Radio.
Greetings and salutations. Hello, everybody. Good evening to you. Welcome to Used Bin Radio. How are you? I am Brad Hirsch. That is Joe Mama.
Hello.
This is Used Bin Radio.
And we are live in Los Angeles.
That's right. We are taking calls. We are taking emails. The phone lines have been cleared. We have operators standing by. So we're ready for your phone calls. The number for that is
310-840-4438.
And as always, you can always send us an email at usedbinradio@usedbin.com, and we will read those on the air and chat a little bit about what you've been listening to, or whatever else is on your mind as it relates to the wonderful world of rock and roll.
Tunage.
That's right. So let me tell you really quick what we got going on tonight.
Yeah, Brad, what do we have going on tonight?
Not much. This is going to be a pretty fun show because we don't really have a lot planned. We're going to tell you a little bit about what we've been listening to. We're going to have a little bit of the news. Joe's going to do something that I have absolutely no idea what that is.
And then Brad's going to do something that I have absolutely no idea what that is. I think we're really just kind of
winging it
and sort of playing off the tunes. I'm hoping for sort of like a stream of consciousness thing tonight where we're kind of bouncing off of whatever happens to randomly come up on the playlist tonight.
That's right.
That would be the experiment.
I would agree. It's always fun to talk about whatever we're listening to.
So, like, if a little Michael Bublé happens to come up in your playlist tonight,
it won't. Don't worry. No. Don't worry.
Anything
that won't
goes.
happen. I can promise you that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I put a lot of good tunes on the iPod tonight, so we'll see what comes up on that. And I know Joe's got some good tunes planned for you as well. And let me quickly tell you. Well, actually, why don't you tell us, Joe? What have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to? Well, I guess the thing I've been up to most is putting a roof over my head, which was kind of
literally.
It's not really a musical topic per se, but yeah, we had the construction guys put a new roof on our house, and I'll tell you, when they say they're going to be there at 7:00 in the morning and start tearing your roof off, these guys were like Triumph. They tore the roof off.
Nice.
2 hours later, we're seeing the sun streaming through our house.
That's great.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal. But we got a new roof on the house and on the pub in the back.
Oh, good.
And so we had to have a grand reopening for Joe's Garage Pub, and had plentiful pints on a Saturday night.
Very good.
And yeah, so that was good. Other than that, just been listening to a lot of tunes, watching a little Olympic curling. I know that you're obsessed about the Olympic curling.
I love it.
And I'll tell you what I've been listening to. I pulled out for the first time in a little while here we go back on our Rush kick again. Pulled out Different Stages.
Oh, great.
I haven't listened to that live album in a little while.
The Live 2112?
Well, because there's so many great live Rush albums to choose from. And that one, I remember you and I when we got the advance of that, and I want to say that was like 96-ish. Somewhere around there. And I remember we had like a little listening party with the guys, and the thing that struck us then and still strikes me now is just how live it actually sounds. It's not like a traditional live album where it's like really clean with a little bit of cheering at the beginning, at the end of each song. You hear almost like little chatter and like people like kind of going off and just like a bunch of woo woo, and stoner talk in between.
And it was a great show.
And it was a great show.
It was a great tour to record.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, the live version of 2112 and Natural Science, and even some of the more recent stuff that isn't necessarily my go-to stuff, but some of it sounded so great. Like the live version of Animate.
Yeah.
It was pretty damn good.
And Dreamline is on that, right?
Dreamline opens the set.
As I always say, it's not one of my favorite records, it's not one of my favorite songs, but I love that song live.
Yeah, it works.
Dreamline is a great live tune.
It works live, definitely. So, been listening to that. And
the third disc. The third disc, the bonus show from Montreal in 78, right? Is it Montreal?
I forget.
Oh, no. Maybe it's Europe, actually.
I
don't remember where that's from.
I forget where the third disc was recorded, but that was from 78, Farewell to Kings tour.
That was a weird bonus that rushed through us.
It really was.
Talk about out of left field.
Totally, go figure. Because who thought in 1996 we'd get a live version of Cinderella Man?
Well, who thought they would even care?
Right.
It's so out of like you said, out of left field for them to throw us a bone.
They throw us a bone. They rolled us a bone.
Sure did.
But then I pulled out something, and this is another one of those things where you just realize how time is flying. Because like a few weeks ago, I think it was, we were talking about festivals, and I was reminiscing about like US Festival '83, and you realize it's like 27 years ago. Well, I can remember like it was yesterday. I was sitting on a beach. It was like some summer weekend, and I remember one of the local radio stations was broadcasting the simulcast of the Nebworth Festival from England, when it was the lineup was Pink Floyd and McCartney and Genesis and Robert Plant. Jimmy Page joined them on stage. It was just a monstrous lineup, and it was for the summer of 1990. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, Eagle Rock Communications are about to re-release the 20th anniversary master of the Nebworth Festival 1990 concert. I can't believe that was 20 years ago. It was a nutty show. So I've been listening to that stuff and having a good old time with it. I also pulled out the In This Moment disc, which I haven't listened to in a little while. Maria Brink was some powerhouse vocals. That only came out like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they've already done a remaster on that. Because they set it up with some bonus tracks and like a cover version of the Blondie song "Call Me."
Right. So
already a remaster of that out. So that's what I've been listening to.
Very nice.
What about you, young man?
Well,
wait. Is this a
Presto Ballet
B-side?
Hang on just a second.
That would truly be a stream of consciousness, because we were just talking before the show about, there just aren't enough Presto Ballet B-sides.
That's right.
So, actually, speaking about before the show, I'm just going to go ahead and blow this.
No, let me.
You want to do it? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Well, we've got, I just got a text that we will be having a special guest.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, I had a feeling that's where you were going.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
So we're going to have a special guest. He should be here, I would say, in about 6 or 7 minutes.
Well, then in about 6 or 7 minutes, I'll go to a track.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're going to bring in our very good friend, very old friend.
He's not old, just the relationship.
Just the relationship. Yes. In fact, he's my old roommate. We're going to bring in ROB GRAD, who was the bass player for KIK TRACEE.
Yeah.
And who's got a new solo CD out called No Apologies. Isn't that right? No Apologies?
Who we just randomly ran into before the show while we were having coffee and talking about, what are we going to do on the air tonight? And as we were having that conversation, ROB GRAD walks up, face from the past, and
great to see him. Such a great guy.
So we're gonna bring him in here in a little bit.
Reminisce a little bit about the past, talk about the present, and do a little bit of that. So let me briefly tell you then what I've been listening to. Well, actually, let me tell you that, like you said earlier, I'm on an absolute curling kick. That I can't stop watching curling. I TiVo it. I watch like these long, like 2.5 hour, 3 hour matches, and I'm obsessed with it. And I don't know how that happened, but I got completely into curling. So that's all I watch. And I taught myself the rules by watching it on TV, and I figured it out pretty good. And I love the strategy behind it. I love everything about it. It's a really exciting sport. It looks silly with the sweepers. They look ridiculous. I won't lie.
I can't believe the intensity of these guys.
Very serious
They're just rolling these little balls of iron or whatever.
These are not balls of iron.
They are so intense.
These are 42 or 45 pound stones of granite on a sheet of ice. They're being placed perfectly.
They got some big stones. These people.
That's right. I bet you they have shirts that say "Curlers have big stones."
I bet they do.
Yeah. So I'm into it, and I want to be a curler.
What do we listen to? Obviously, it's James LaBrie, but I don't know.
This Frame Shift.
This is good.
Yeah, this Frame Shift, the first Frame Shift record.
That's not bad.
Pretty great.
I'm gonna have to pick this one up.
This is good.
All right.
So so I'm on a curling kick, and I'm gonna go and I'm going curling this weekend. I found a place where they have curling in California, and there's one in Hollywood, and there's one a little closer to my house in Van Nuys. So I'm going. I have to try this. I have to see what it's all all about.
Now, are you going to?
It's all about.
You'll be the curler, not the sweeper, right?
Well, there's 8 stones and 4 players, and each player curls 2 stones, throws 2 stones. So
crazy.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it, though. I really like it a lot. And the other thing that I watched this weekend, which was absolutely one of the highlights of the year, possibly, was the Canada-U.S. hockey game. Just an epic battle between 2 great hockey teams, and loved every minute of it.
Did they play the Neil Peart?
No, I didn't hear it. No,
they didn't play that. The new hockey thing.
It's for Hockey Night in Canada.
Oh, not for the Olympics.
No.
Okay.
But you know what? Rob is in the parking lot, so I'm going to go get him. If you want to go to a track, I'm going to get out.
I'm going to go to a little track, and we're going to enjoy an evening of sort of a stream of consciousness, if you will. So, what more appropriate to kick things off with than a little Dream Theater? This is Stream of Consciousness.
What are you listening to? Used Bin Radio.
That's nice.
And welcome back to Used Bin Radio, boys and girls. We got a special guest in the studio, and we just put a smile on his face.
Classic.
Yeah, it is so great to have my very good and very old friend ROB GRAD in the studio. He's a former bass player for KIK TRACEE, which I would think is how most of you would know him, but he has his own CD out now called No Apologies. We'll play a track from that in a little while. But Rob, how are you, man?
What's up, boys?
This is just very weird.
It's very weird.
Now, we have to set it up again, and I know Joe told you a minute earlier, but Joe and I meet for about an hour or so before the show, actually about 2 hours before the show, sort of talk a little bit about what we're going to do, what asses we'll make out of ourselves tonight. And I got there a little early tonight over at Starbucks, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just getting ready to open up the LA Weekly, and Rob walks up, and I haven't seen Rob in a few years. It has to be a few years.
It's been a few years, and I was like, I know that guy.
Looks a little familiar.
It's a little familiar, yeah.
And so that's sort of how this whole thing happened.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're here, man.
Thanks, man. It's really good to be here. It's great to see both you guys. It's been so long, and just totally cool.
Yeah, right on. So, dude, let's just get right to it. First of all, what have you been up to? We have to go through that. What have you been listening to? Let's talk about that.
Wow.
What music you've been listening to?
I have been kind of diving back into some older things. I don't know I'm just kind of having all kinds of different stuff. I had a guy that produced my CD. Actually, his best friend, one of his good friends, sings for Train, and so I just kind of got that CD recently and been listening to that new one.
Is that Pat Moynihan? Is that his
Pat
name?
Moynihan? Yeah,
Pat Moynihan, yeah. That guy's a great singer.
He's a great singer, and live he's amazing and stuff. And he had a solo CD a couple of years ago, I guess. It didn't do so well, but live he's amazing, And he was doing like this old Led Zeppelin covers and stuff, and was just killing them,
I remember when I worked here at Westwood One. I went and saw those guys on their when they did the first record, and he did that Zeppelin cover, and the guy's retarded.
Murdered it. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of been listening to that. I bought Van Halen 2 on iTunes the other day. Do you guys appreciate that?
Nice.
Doing some work at my desk. I was like, I think I need it,
Yeah, you made Joe happy guy right there. Here, Joe and I have the constant argument of Sarah versus Dave. And Joe's always wrong with Dave, but I do like Van Halen too.
Oh, man, it was great. Such a good listen. Such a good listen. I didn't remember when he plays Spanish Fly,
right?
And you can hear kind of Eddie put the guitar down on his knee, and there's all that stuff that when that years ago I didn't really catch any of that. I was like, ooh, now I hear those things now. It was just totally, it was great.
Absolutely. And Light Up the Sky, at the time, it might have been a deep cut. Now it's just like a standout track to me.
Totally.
Oh, man.
So, diving into all that, I can't wait. Peter Gabriel's new CD's coming out.
Yeah,
can't wait to see that. My buddy's got tickets for that.
Is that right?
Going, yeah.
Now we've been talking about this on the show actually for a little while because I'm a huge Genesis fanatic, and so for me one of the things that's going on in my Genesis world, not to digress too much, but I think it's a missed opportunity that they're going to get inducted next month to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Apparently Gabriel is either not going to show up or is definitely not going to perform with them.
Really?
Missed opportunity, I think. But
I don't even think he's coming. Right?
Yeah, he might not even be showing up.
That's too bad. I would have liked to have seen at least him show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Granted, Genesis, you being a fan, know that they couldn't be more different at the end than they were from the beginning.
That's for sure.
I think that maybe he's not showing up because there's a rumor that there might be guitars and drums, so Gabriel won't go anywhere where there's guitars and drums anymore.
He'll have none of that in 2010.
Well, that's a guy that just kind of he evolved past the medium in a way, very much like the Pink Floyd guys did in a way, that kind of stuff. So
that one of those Gabriel shows was one of the best shows I've ever seen in an indoor arena.
Really?
And I can't even remember the tour now. I want to say it was the Us tour. Would that be right? The Us tour.
Is that when he had Paula Cole as his backup singer?
I think.
And I'm leaning over your shoulder.
I think that
was.
Kiss
me? How bad do you want to kiss me right now? I don't. You know what? I don't remember. I just remember there was a moment in there where he did a song from Passion of the Christ.
Temptation of Christ.
Temptation of
There you go.
Christ.
Yeah.
And called Across the River. And he had he had a stage in the middle of the arena and a stage at the regular stage.
Oh, right.
And they fogged up the little walking thing. And
so great.
It was one of the most incredible visuals I think I've ever seen.
Really?
Him with a staff looking like he was rowing across the river. And I was so enamored with him slowly moving on this walker that I didn't even notice in the middle of the second stage they had put an apple tree.
Oh, wow.
It was just like a religious experience.
Wow.
It was spectacular. Wow. But, now he's just an egghead. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? So
you're a big Gabriel guy.
I'm a big Gabriel fan. I love him. I think that he's just brilliant, and he's one of the guys that's able to get creative and do all these amazing things, and yet still write great songs. Which doesn't always happen. So.
Well, speaking of getting creative and doing all kinds of amazing things, let's turn it right back on you, Mr. Grad.
All right.
And let's talk about a guy who is writing music and painting and being artistically creative. And this all started when you were living in Madrid, I guess?
Yeah. I moved to Madrid last year, and I rented a flat there, and I got this idea, and I started working. I've been painting as well as playing music. I never quit music. I did a band called SUPERFINE after KIK TRACEE. And SUPERFINE, we were more like an indie band, kind of Foo Fighters, and Sonic Youth, whatever. And
any you've-been listeners out there who are diehard fans of the Buffy the Vampire series will remember the theme song.
Well done. So I was on that show and did some stuff for them and with SUPERFINE, and then kind of went this other direction with my solo stuff. And I started. Got this idea to mix the music with the painting, and it's something I've always done. I was taking a lot of photographs. I do a lot of mixed medium kind of paint photograph kind of thing. And I was living in Europe, painting, writing songs, and now the CD came out, and I'm doing this thing where I'm going around to different art galleries, and I'm playing live. And so they're showing my paintings, my work, and I play live at the show, and it's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
it's
awesome.
Fun. It's really fun.
Now, are you taking this to multiple cities, or is it just here in LA?
So far, booked in LA, a couple different places here in LA, and one in Florida, and then we've got an in New York, but it's not booked yet. I'm planning on moving around, and I met a curator while I was in Madrid, and he's trying to get me something over there too. So hopefully it'll go all over.
And so it's an art installation along to your music.
Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, what these shows that I'm doing really are more just an evening of my creativity in general. There is a show that I'm working on that would be a multi-room installation that would go from city to city, but that's a huge idea that's going to take a couple years to make, and we're still sort of developmental stages on it.
Right. And so in the stuff you're playing is off the new CD, right? No Apologies.
So right now, everything's off the No Apologies CD. And
where can people get that?
They can get it on my website. If you want a hard copy of the CD, the only place it's available is at my website, which is robgrad.com. ROBGRAD. And then the download version, though, you can get at iTunes, most of the download sites that you're looking at. So
it's just like the new music business.
It's pretty much like the new music
business. It's available everywhere but real record stores.
Exactly. Because, it's not in Walmart, so, where else are you going to go? They've got like 6 CDs at Target and the rest are at Walmart, and that's it, right?
Well, let me ask you this, just because, we go way back, but one thing I've never really asked you about or talked to you about is, do you embrace the technology? Are you iPod guy strictly, or do you need a CD? Or do you need an album cover and sprawl out on the floor with liner notes? Because I'm that guy.
See, I have an issue. So here's what it is. The CD is terribly unsatisfying for me in some respects. I have a lot of CDs. Obviously, I'm creating CDs and stuff like that, and I do buy them from time to time. But for the most part, a CD is pretty small. And so back in the day with the album, you sat down, you had the thing, like you were saying, you sit down, you lay it all out. The album itself was a piece of work. It was a piece of art, as well as the music that you got. CD hasn't really found that. Like we include a DVD with my CD that's got the video on it that we shot for one of the songs, and then there's this TV show that I did where I played live to a studio audience, and I got interviewed, I got to tell a little bit of my story. So, we're doing things like that, but really... So I kind of feel like the CD needs to evolve to something else that, again, creates that interest level of something physical, because I like to hold something physical. I also feel a little cheated when I buy from iTunes. It's a great deal, $10, you get a CD. Like we were saying, I just bought Van Halen 2 the other day because I don't have it. I can't find it, So it's like iTunes, Van Halen 2.
But you can't see Ronald McDonald. I mean David Lee Roth.
But it's a little bit like you go out with a girl, you get as far a certain thing, you go home, it doesn't quite happen.
Right.
It's kind of how I feel at the end of an iTunes purchase.
Right. I completely get that. All right, let me. I'm not even going there. I have to shift gears for you for a minute. I just got it's funny, I just got an email for all of you guys who are just listening. We're talking to Rob Grad, who has a new CD out called No Apologies. He was the bass player in KIK TRACEE. And, KIK TRACEE is in normal rotation on Pure Rock Radio. And I just got a text from Rich over there who said that he loves KIK TRACEE. The CD and the EP are in rotation and on auto request.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
He had a question.
Okay.
Which was, aside from your current project, are you still in touch with any of the other Tracees, and what are they up to? And I just love the fact that he called them Tracees. Are you in touch with any of the Tracees?
He could have called them the Kicks, but that wouldn't have worked.
Well, that would have been a different thing. Yeah.
Right. That would have been confusing.
Yeah,
exactly. You thought he was talking about Kicks.
Well, my fellow Tracees are mostly doing well, and I am in touch with most of the band. Both the guitar players, everybody lives in LA except for the drummer Johnny, who lives in Houston. In fact, Johnny and I have gone back and forth with email recently because I've been invited to do a couple of lectures where I was ill for a few years and I was able to heal, and it was an undiagnosable thing. And in doing that, I learned a few things, and so I've been asked to lecture. But in these lectures that I'm going to give, they want to show videos of all my old stuff and things like that.
Great.
So yeah, I had to go find my KIK TRACEE videos, and they're all like, on VHS tape in storage, lost forever. So I emailed Johnny, the drummer, and I was like, dude, do you have any of this stuff? And he's got it all. But he tells me he also has some fans sent him a live video of us performing, I guess, at a radio station, and perhaps one on stage that I think are at least watchable, that he just watched for the first time yesterday. And we're having all that stuff put on DVD, so at least it exists. I mean, I have no idea how good it is or not.
Do you have an idea of what that set was? Like, what phase of KIK TRACEE was that? Was that pre-EP?
If we were in Florida on tour, that would have been No Rules, probably.
Okay.
I don't think we toured Field Trip too much.
Got it.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
I would guess that's No Rules. The only shows we really did after Field Trip came out, we didn't do a full tour. We did certain cities we went to. We played that RIP magazine party.
Right, I remember.
With Bon Jovi and all those guys.
Remember it well.
Yeah. So that was kind of that period, but I believe it was No Rules time.
And that set's available somewhere. I know that because I know for sure it was recorded because they recorded everything.
Yeah. There was a Westwood One recording of the KIK TRACEE show at one point.
I have to hunt that down. I'm sure I can find that.
So yeah, I mean, appreciate the question, man. But the other guys are doing good. Actually, Mike Marcus, the lead guitar player, is playing with our original drummer, Scott Donnell. Oh. And they were in a band called Hal Lovejoy Circus for a while.
I remember, right?
But now they're just finishing a CD under a different name that's... I can't quite remember it right now. You just told it to me the other day. It's a really great name. But that stuff's going to be great. Those guys are amazing, And Steven, the singer, was actually, last I was told, he's singing a live stage show of Tommy that goes on tour.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's singing the lead, and he goes on stage and
Good
sings
for
Tommy.
him.
Yeah, evidently he's doing really well. The reviews are great on it.
Now, wasn't Steven, at one point, wasn't he in consideration for Motley Crue and Vince when John Corabi ended up doing that? But that was originally, Steven was in consideration.
It was between Steven and John Corabi, actually, at the end.
What would that record have sounded like?
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't imagine Steven and Nikki Sixx sitting down to work on a record. I mean, that's like oil and oil.
Yeah. Like, who knows? I mean, Steven, amazing performer. I don't talk to him too much these days. It's been quite some years since I spoke to him. Everything's fine, but I lost touch with him mostly. But amazing performer, and I know that's why he's killing those Tommy shows, because he's good. He's great.
Wow, good for him.
Would there ever be any chance of you knew the question was coming?
I guess so. There's probably 3 people in the world that would ask me that question, and you're one of them.
Any chance that you guys would ever perform together like a one-off?
I can't imagine it would ever happen, but I mean, I've said this before. Like, there's one of those. Oh, the Oklahoma thing.
I'm holding up the lineup for this year's Rocklahoma right now, which to be honest is not a really impressive lineup.
Really?
The last couple of years, it's been like really heavy on the 80s strip music that we all grew up with.
Yeah.
But they're going a different route this time around. It's like ZZ Top and a bunch of more recent bands. But obviously they kind of cater to that crowd. If they gave you the call, any chance?
Yeah, I never got the call as far as I know. No one ever called me, but you know.
How random would that have been? I don't even know. Listen, I remember the last Kick Tracee show. I was at the very last Kick Tracee show, and that was borderline disaster.
Was that when I got naked?
Yes. So certainly, you came out in a trench coat.
Yeah, that was it. Naked. I was like, that was awesome. We were, wow, dude, great memory, man. We it was like the end, you know. We knew it was pretty much over, and we were coming back out for the encore, and I was backstage in this tiny little, you know, I say backstage with the finger quotes, right. You know, it's literally like a little hallway behind the stage. And I was like, you know, I always wanted to play naked. Now's the time. You know, now's my chance. So I start taking off my clothes, and the guys are all looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? You know? And I went, you know what? Let's, you know, why not? I got a trench coat on, and my bass is covered in the junk,
crazy.
You know? Yeah. So we come out to play. This is one of my greatest Kick Tracee memories, ironically. And unfortunately, we were so, like, just not in good place at the time. But so I get on stage. The lights are low, you know, coming out for our big encore. We played Mrs. Robinson, our cover of Mrs. Robinson, as the encore that night. And I'm standing back by the drums doing my, like, beefy bass thing, you know. And this drunk guy runs around the side of the side fills, up the ramp on the side of the stage, gets 2 inches from my face, and I'm thinking, this could be bad, right? and I'll never forget it. He looks at me straight in the eye and he goes, dude! Oh, I can't curse on the air. Oh, good. He's fucking amazing, man! He's like, you fucking rock! And he, like, puts his hand up so I can high-five him. And runs off the side of the stage. And that was it. He just had to tell me how cool what I was about to do was. And then...
Wow.
Yeah, and it was one of the most confident moments on stage I've ever had, ironically enough.
Yeah, talk about vulnerable.
Yeah.
Some drunk dude with you standing naked. That could have gone really bad.
And he's high-fiving me. Yeah, it was pretty great.
Wow, that's funny. Well, what happened with... I mean, I think I have an idea. But
I saw Queensryche show recently. They were really good, by the way.
The cabaret show?
You didn't see him on the cruise, did you?
No, I didn't see him on the cruise. It was before the cruise. I was in...
Say it, Joe.
I ran into... ran into Michael, the guitarist at NAMM show this year. And I said, dude, come on, tell me, how was the cruise? He goes, it was a 4-day meet and greet.
Was it? Oh, brutal. Yeah, my manager knows them, and so we went and saw them down in Florida. But
they were good?
I just heard it in the background. I was like, hey, just saw that. It was awesome. They were great.
This is a great song. This is the Thin Line, right?
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I don't have
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, but I was just kind of like, hey.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah,
turn it up. Let's listen. Love this chorus.
Yeah.
For you! It's fucking great. It's a big chorus.
It is. They wrote them well.
Great, Empire was a great record.
So, dude, he comes out on stage and sings that song though on the new album with the it's all about the war and the army and everything.
War or whatever.
And his daughter comes out and sings with him. Holy crap! I mean, I was like in tears at a freaking Queensryche show. Yeah, literally, all of us were though. That's what was funny. Like I'm like crying up. I'm like, oh man, this is bad, you know.
Right.
And I look over and like my manager and the 2 guys next to him, everyone's like all waterworks and stuff. It was classic. It was
That's
great.
funny. So the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
I guess not, but it was good stuff. Yeah, she sang great, but it was just beautiful how they did it. You know, I mean, these guys are so artistic about what they do, as well as just brilliant. But yeah, it was amazing.
Is she cute?
I mean, she's 13. Yeah, she's cute. Or whatever she is,
I'm not sure how I feel about all
cute would be a better word than hot.
Right, yes. Sweet.
Right.
She's
very sweet.
Sweet, yes. And wholesome.
Yes.
And 13.
Exactly.
Okay, so where the fuck was I going? I was going to ask you about the after you guys did No Rules, the band did a pretty big shift, musically anyway.
Yeah.
So talk about the EP and the musical shift, because No Rules was very much so at the tail end of what the 80s was all about, and Kick Tracee, in my mind, Kick Tracee never was just an 80s hair band, but I think that record sort of came off like that.
Yeah.
And the EP was a little bit more creative, and So talk about the musical shift.
Yeah, I mean, because now you were there. So, right. I mean, now for those of you who are listening, I mean, Brad used to come to us. There was these famous shows we used to call at the Rain Tree in Torrance, suburb here of LA, where, KIK TRACEE tried to be a cover band for a night, and it was hilarious.
Because 3 sets a night.
Yeah, we were like playing the same songs more than once because we did like Neil Young, Heart of Gold that night,
Yeah.
But it was just as we were getting good, and it was just at that time where things were starting to move. So Brad goes all the way back.
Right.
And so he knows, the band really did start out differently. And we were more creative. We were listening to a lot of the other bands that the guys on the 80s in the Sunset Strip weren't listening to at that time and all that kind of stuff, but in the end, we did do, we were one of those bands that made all the wrong decisions. Like if you always hear like these record companies that like fuck the band over and whatever, right? We were the band that had we listened to the record company, we would have been in much better shape.
So you guys fucked yourselves over.
We really did in a lot of ways, and had we just stuck to what we originally were, not only would our record have come out sooner, in which case things would have been different when it came out, but it also would have sounded different. We were considering using the producer, a guy named Mark Opitz, who did the NXS records that were huge back then. I'm saying records, just whatever. But
no, that's okay. We're old.
I'm with you, Joe. But and we were thinking about using a guy like that or something, which I think probably would have brought a different side of the band out. And that's really where we were going. Yeah, we had a lot of hair, but we dressed a little different than the other bands on the Strip. We sounded different than the other bands on the Strip. We used to have a song called Portrait of a Girl, and we would bring this screen out and have a girl dancing behind it and the whole thing. And it was a great song that didn't make either of the CDs, but which should have, in my opinion. But it's one of my favorite KIK TRACEE songs, actually.
Absolutely. Well, I'll say it because I think you're too nice of a guy to say it. But you guys, Dana Strum fucked that record up.
Well,
Well, he did. Dana Strum fucked that record up. And I remember when you guys made that record that you were. He went on tour. Slaughter went on tour with Kiss.
Yep.
And you guys ended up going from fucking city to city and on off days recording vocals here and the parts. It's just a fucking train wreck.
It was. I mean, and I don't.
Not at the time. It didn't seem like that. I guess.
It's tough. It's kind of like you're trying to roll with it. We had made the decision to go with Dana, so we're kind of rolling with it and kind of like, well, we want to
be a big star.
Well, that was also the thing. Slaughter was just exploding at that time, and most people probably don't know that Dana Strum got introduced to us through Bob Ezrin, and Bob Ezrin wanted to produce our CD, but didn't have the time because he was already pre-booked. Bob came into the studio and worked with us with a guy named John Hanlon, and we did a demo because KIK TRACEE got signed without a demo. Our live show. We had nothing recorded. Our live show is what sold it. Yeah. So we needed a demo to shop for producers. So Bob Ezrin came in and worked with this guy, John Hanlon, and we did a 6-song demo, which sounds, more like KIK TRACEE than our CD does.
Where's that demo?
God, man, it's on a cassette in a bag somewhere. I got to...
Dude, you got to... I need that.
Really? All
What's
right, I'll
on
try.
that?
It's got 4 of the songs that were on No Rules. It's got Generation Express, but it's got System Above is on there.
Oh, see, now we're talking.
And Equal Opportunity.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Hey, we need Bob Ezrin.
Is that the one with the Cats in the Cradle demo?
The Cats in the Cradle is not on that demo.
That's a
different demo.
Right.
No covers on this one. But let's see. There's Generation Express. Tangerine Man is on there, the original version of Tangerine Man. And Big Western Sky. Wow, I can't believe I'm remembering this. And there's one more that I can't remember.
That Big Western Sky was incredibly produced on the No Rules record.
It was.
And broken down, it's what a beautiful song.
Thanks.
That was a great song.
That song was my baby. I was but it was just one of those things where it's at the time and we were really young. I mean, my God, we were like just didn't know what we were doing. Everyone's telling us we're going to be big stars and do this and do that. And Dana was very Dana's very confident. If nothing else, Dana's very confident, and he's a talented guy. I mean, I don't like to throw it all on Dana because if any point we had said, no, we want to do this, or no, we want to do this, it could have been different. You know what I mean? So Dana...
He was pretty persuasive.
He was very persuasive, and like I said, I don't really like to talk negative about him because he is persuasive in everything that he was and whatever. Dana really did do everything in his power to help the band, and he thought that everything that he was doing was best for the band. He really did. So whether we disagree with it or not, he was coming from a place where he really wanted it to work. So, and I respect that about everything that he put into it. Whether I'll
throw it on Dana.
Okay, I mean, fine. You know, I mean, and whether you know, and like I said, whether in hindsight we say, hey, that was a great, you know, it was a good decision or not, you know, it's a different story. But I appreciate what he tried to do.
He definitely loved the band.
He did,
will say that.
And that's the thing.
He worked really, really hard.
Yeah, and so, you know, yes, could we have used somebody else, made a different CD, had it come out sooner, and had a whole different reality? Absolutely. You know, should we have done that? Probably. You know. So to go back to your question about Field Trip, the EP we did after, Field Trip was kind of like, you know, we were these young kids that had all these high expectations on what we were going to do, and things weren't working out how we thought they were, but we still had our record deal, we still had a shot. I mean, New Rules did sell 150,000 copies, something like that. You know, it wasn't like we didn't sell at all, you know.
Right.
And we were on MTV and we did all those things. So, but the band was kind of trying to find itself again. We were kind of trying to go back to our roots and get the Dana experience behind us and say, hey, you know, we want to make something that is more us. And so we found Chris Goss, you know, who was in Masters of Reality at the time. And,
yes.
you know, yeah, good old Chris.
Yes. Good old Chris.
Chris was the opposite of Dana Strum.
The antithesis.
Dana Strum is, you know, totally hands-on everything, every single note you're playing. You know, Dana helps you figure out what you're doing. And then there was Chris Goss, who helped you with the big vision.
Right.
He would smoke a little and then sleep on the couch, you know, like, and I loved him too. He loved the band. You know, Chris was a really cool guy, but you know, there was a time I remember I was playing a bass track in the studio, and we were in one-on-one studios, you know, like big time, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm in the booth, or I'm in the room, the room playing a bass overdub, and I'm like, you know, I play my part, and I'm like, how was that? You know, on the thing. And nothing. Silence in the booth, you know. I'm like, hello? You know, was that take any good, or is it shit? You know, do I have to do this again? It's you know, I don't care. Just tell me. Hard to tell when I'm playing. And nothing. And then finally Mike, the guitar player, you know, kind of presses the talk back. He goes, dude, I think you can do a little better, you know. I said, all right, fine.
Is Chris asleep?
Asleep. High and asleep on the couch, you know, just gone. But we also worked with that with Joe Barresi.
Right.
Who now Joe Baresi's producing Tool.
Right.
And last time I saw Joe, amazing guy. Joe's so cool. Still living in the same house he was, at least last I talked to him a couple of years ago. And we saw him in the airport in Las Vegas. I was coming back from a bachelor party for Scott Donnell, who was the first KIK TRACEE drummer. And there's Joe Baresi, like in the airport with his mom. And he was in for a Tool
You've been having
show.
a lot of random run-ins
Dude,
lately.
I have so many. I know. I'm telling you, my life is really amazing
It's
these days.
serendipitous.
It's great. It is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So there was Joe, you know. So anyway, Joe's great. He was an engineer back then, though. He wasn't really even producing much yet. And now he's like the man.
Yeah.
You know, he's amazing. But so we got to work with some cool people.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Field Trip was kind of us trying to find our way. You know.
If I remember, and I've not actually sat down and listened to Field Trip in a while, but there were songs like
It's a little all over the place.
like Walking with a Dead Girl.
Yeah, Walking with the Dead Girl.
That felt more KIK TRACEE-ish.
Yeah.
Because it was a huge open.
Yeah.
It was a big build up to a monster chorus that
Yeah.
was beefy, and then it brought you back down.
Yeah, we were
That's
really
what made KIK TRACEE good with the arrangements.
the arrangements, the dynamics.
Yeah.
You know, we were really good at like bringing it down and then taking it up and going huge, and that's what we loved. You know, we loved doing that, and yeah, that's what that was all about. That whole period of Field Trip was kind of getting back to, you know, what are we really about? What are we trying to do? And Field Trip, there's some great songs on there. I still think that they hold up.
Lost is on there, right?
No,
Or is that
Lost
on
was on No Rules.
What's the ballad that's on?
There's Field Trip and there's Drop in the Ocean.
Drop in the Ocean. That's what I was thinking.
Now, Drop in the Ocean was, you know, that was one of our early songs that we used to encore with when we were playing the whiskey and all
I
that.
remember.
And
at the No Bozo Jams.
yeah, the No
whiskey.
Bozo Jams,
Yeah.
totally.
Remember those, Mama?
I used to play the No Bozo Jams back in the Dr. Star days.
Yes, you did.
Do you think that the No Bozo Jam was named after David Lee Roth? Because he's kind of like Bozo the Clown?
No.
Just a thought. Just wondering.
Jerry Gittleson? Was that who that was?
Oh, my God.
Did I just get that right?
No! They're all gonna laugh at you!
Yeah,
I
is
think
that
it was
right?
Jerry Gittleson that used to do those No Bozo Jams. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I can't believe I just pulled that name up.
All right, how about who did the industry?
Oh,
I
Michael
remember that.
Fell.
Michael Fell.
Michael
that's
Fell,
right.
yeah.
Michael Fell.
Where's Al Bain for leather?
Al Bain, where is
He
Al-
sponsored everybody.
He did-
Remember?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's
my
really
God.
funny.
Wow.
Or Whoa Nelly?
Oh, Whoa Nelly Productions.
Yeah, she passed away.
She did?
Yeah, I think she did. And got sick. Something happened. Yeah, it wasn't a good thing, actually.
That just ruined the mood.
Sorry about that. I have very few updates on people from the past, except tragic endings.
Jeez.
Sorry. It's like
how much time do you have, by the way? I don't.
I got a few more minutes.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready to go.
Thanks.
We'll get out of here. So what happened then? So after Field Trip goes, and then you did that. You played a few shows, and then the Naked Show.
Field Trip. Yeah, Field Trip was sort of us trying to find ourselves a little bit. Because we were kind of, failed. We didn't meet our own expectations and stuff, and we were kind of having a little identity issue and stuff. And because of the decisions we had made on No Rules and stuff, we were kind of trying to find our roots again. And we just kind of couldn't do it. We started working on a second full-length CD, and we were working with Garth Richardson, who produced the first Rage Against the Machine album, and Garth, because he had a little stutter,
right.
Amazing human being,
his
and really fucking talented.
That.
Yeah, it did. That was his whole thing. Yeah,
that was really funny. That's right.
Amazingly talented producer. Like, he was incredible. I wonder what he's doing these days. I have no idea. But a beautiful
living
man.
In Canada, being good Garth.
Yeah. But we were making an album, but I just, it was like a lot of the excitement had gone out of it for me. And I think the band was in a frustrated place, and I didn't really love the songs that we were coming up with. I thought, I had started listening to different stuff at that point. I was listening to Sonic Youth. I was listening to all these new things. I was like, whoa, I didn't even know you could do that.
And that's sort of the direction I remember of Superfine.
Well, that was the thing.
When you had my young pal, Mr. William James Dewitt III.
Ah, yes.
With the bouncing foot playing bass.
Yep, Willie Dewitt.
That's right,
yeah.
Willie Dewitt.
So... yeah, and that was kind of where I went with Superfine. I was kind of done. I wanted to sing. I always wanted to sing. Like, in fact, when KIK TRACEE was looking for a singer, we had this other guy, and we got rid of him, and we started changing the direction of the writing. And we tried out like 80-something guys. I remember we started counting at one point because we couldn't find a singer.
John Corabi and Vince Neil come in, just kind of even the score.
John Corabi came by. It was between Steven and John, and we went with Steven. No, dude, we actually had guys come out. I mean, now we're talking 1988, 7? Probably 1987, because we found Steven in 88. So... height of Sunset Strip cheese at that point. Like, it had already passed the good point, and we had guys come in. I remember this guy came in, and his demo was him at Magic Mountain singing Smoking in the Boys' Room. And he had a southern accent. He was like, smoking in the boys' room,
wow.
and we took turns. Yeah.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh, and we did. We had to take turns out on Scott's driveway, and two guys were going back and laugh while two guys tried to keep a straight face on the street, and then we would shift. Literally.
Wow.
It was that bad. So we found Steven. We were like, thank God. But right before we found Steven, I was like, maybe I could just sing. I'm writing melodies anyway. I'm writing lyrics. Maybe I could do this. And then we met Steven. Like, this guy's totally cool. He's amazing. Perfect, So when KIK TRACEE... oh, totally, And so when KIK TRACEE ended, I was like, you know what? I think, I'm writing this stuff anyway. I'm going to give it a shot. And I was so pissed off and frustrated at that point. I was like, I'd rather suck and just kind of muddle forward for a while and see what I can do than, do this again. So... and I was really comfortable. Singing, and I was really loved it, and playing guitar, I loved it, and in the end, I was with KIK TRACEE. I was trying to tell the guys, try like this, whatever. It was like I wanted to just do it myself, and so I knew that's kind of where I was growing into, So that's kind of was a natural progression for me.
All right. We're talking to ROB GRAD, former bass player for KIK TRACEE. Now has a new CD out called No Apologies, which you can get at robgrad.com or iTunes or I would imagine Amazon.
Yep,
right?
all the download sites.
Silly download places.
Yep.
Or Licorice Pizza.
Music Plus.
Strawberries.
Yeah. Dude, now we're talking.
Yeah, those days are done.
Fuck, sucks, right?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You want
to play?
Yeah, let's play a song.
Let's play. Be Good to Yourself.
Be Good to Yourself. I like it. That's a good one.
Gather up the nerve. you don't live that way yourself. So I'm breaking out 'cause I can't take it one more day. I know is now a question. Everything secure has come undone. But there's a freedom in the middle of nowhere, where the sun's the only thing around, and your shadow's not hanging out there on that road. Be good to yourself. Oh, I'm alright. I'm finally using my own eyes. I'm alright. Maybe for the first time in my life. Yeah, be good to yourself. Oh, be good to yourself. Yeah, be good to yourself. Oh, be good to yourself.
Used Bin Radio. What are you listening to?
And welcome back to Used Bin Radio. Hey, we're sitting here with ROB GRAD, reminiscing about the good old days and talking a little KIK TRACEE. And that was off his new CD. That's you can find that on robgrad.com. The No Apologies CD, and that was called "Be Good to Yourself." That's good stuff.
Thanks, man.
Loving that.
Sounds
Loving
good on
that.
the radio.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I know you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So you're doing these art installations, and
Yep.
you're doing. But right now you're doing a. What are you going to do? You're going to rent out. You're going to go to some art galleries.
Yeah.
and
I'm not
play
renting
some
them out. I
music?
mean, their gallery owners are
It's-
putting these on.
It's all your paintings.
It's all my paintings. I'm doing a mixed medium of art, photography, and painting.
Right.
And I'm going into these places. I set up the whole room with all of my art. I'm actually doing the little stage area as an art sort of piece also.
Right.
And then I'm playing a live set. And
Wow.
we're hanging out at night, and it's
Acoustic
fun.
or with a band? or?
Mostly acoustic. The one here I'm doing in LA in May will be like semi-acoustic. I'm gonna have a couple guys with me.
Great.
And they're amazing. They're really fun. It's really it's a really cool thing.
We have to keep us posted because we'll let
Okay,
everybody
well.
know too,
Oh,
especially
thanks.
when you're in
That'd be
different cities and
All
stuff.
right, yeah, definitely.
That'll
be
be
great.
a lot of fun.
That'd be great.
Dude, this was fun.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's so good to see you guys. Unbelievable.
We just had a conversation about the fucking rain tree.
Yeah, I'm so glad I could bring that in.
Not only that, but it was. Am I wrong? Was it just last week we were playing a tune off the Field Trip EP on the air?
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. Is that just random?
Awesome.
Yeah, I played Blood Brother
Nice.
because I love how beefy that song is.
Yeah, that song gets pretty big at the end.
Yeah.
It's just so serendipitous. You know what we'll have to do? We'll have to play like Zeppelin tonight, and then maybe next week Robert Plant will walk in.
There. See, that's an idea.
There you go.
Play it, and they will come.
What's that? Oh, you're looking for some field trip? Actually, because we were talking about how, tonight would be like this sort of stream of consciousness, and we didn't really know where anything was going to go.
And here we are.
And
Yeah.
Rob walking in was par for the course. But this is sort of stream of consciousness, because right now in the background we're listening to a little Avenged Sevenfold. And I just got this story off the newswire, just literally right this second.
Amazing. You guys are so hot.
Actually, one of the used bin runners just ran it into me. But because the Rev, the drummer from Avenged Sevenfold, just passed away.
Did he really?
Yeah, they're heading back into the studio. Well, they were in the studio. They were working on the next record. Oh. But because Rev passed away, they decided to put in a call to Rev's personal all-time favorite drummer, who's going to be taking on drum duties and is very excited to do it, actually. And it's Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater.
Oh, wow.
I think I know that guy.
In fact, he had a little quote. He says, even under normal circumstances, I would have been happy to help the guys out in any way I could. I think Avenged Sevenfold are a great band, but under these incredibly sad and tragic circumstances, I must say I'm truly honored to have been asked to play with them. I don't want their fans to think that I'm trying to step into Rev's shoes. I'm merely lacing them up for him. So
Nice.
He's a classy guy.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Turn this up for a second, will you, Mom?
Yeah.
It's beefy.
Yeah. This is a fun song.
Well, I played Hard Times on here from the No Rules
Nice.
record, only because I like songs about dicks.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
And so I figured that I didn't know who really knew that song was about a dick, but
Trojan
I did, so I
comes
was-
and runs down a thigh or something, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, you remember the lyrics.
That's him. Yeah.
You're in that
I wrote some of them, so yeah.
So there you go. All right, man, we'll let you get out of here. I know you got to get out of
All
here.
right, guys.
Thank you
so
for coming,
good to see you.
man.
Oh, my God. Thanks for having me on. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
This was awesome. Yeah.
Anytime.
And let us know about the art shows. We'll let everybody know. And
Thanks,
the CD,
fella.
No Apologies, get it at robgrad.com. Anything else we need to let people know about?
I don't think so. Right on. Thanks.
Well, hang on before we let you go.
right.
We have a tradition here.
all right.
And every guest who joins us in the used bin can't leave until they get hit with these three very simple questions.
All right.
First of all, and just first thing off the top
Fire
of your head.
away. All right.
All right. What was the first record you ever bought?
First record I ever bought, Billy Joel Glass Houses.
Nice. Good call.
I don't think we've ever gotten
We've never had a Billy Joel answer.
No?
even
No.
anything in that realm.
No?
No.
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 And then I also, my other album I had was Don Drysdale pitching 52 1/3 scoreless innings for the Dodgers. And it was all the announcing of it on an album.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Those were my first two.
All Vin Scully?
I don't even remember. I was like
Genius.
fucking fetus. I don't remember, but
I want to download that on iTunes.
no clue where that went. It may be in my record collection somewhere. I don't know for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't get involved in music, what else do you think you'd be doing right now?
Evidently painting.
Okay. Good. Good.
It's something I'd always wanted to do. I painted a little when I was at KIK TRACEE, and I came back to it.
No golf?
Golf also. Yep, I was training to be a pro golfer.
You're a good golfer.
Thanks. Yeah, I was training to be pro when KIK TRACEE got signed.
Right. Are you still golfing?
I do still golf. That's how I met my manager, actually. He's used
good.
to. In fact, my manager used to be the morning guy, Jack Trash, on KNAC.
Nice.
One of the morning guys, and we hit it off. I did an interview in Florida about 2 years ago, and he and I just kind of started talking, and but we met over golf. So yeah.
It's outstanding.
Awesome. All right. Last question.
All right.
Most important. though.
Uh-oh. Pressure.
If you were trapped on a desert island and you could only bring one Rush album with you, which would it be?
You guys are going to hate me because I'm not I'm not that guy.
We've had lots of people who are not that Rush guy.
All right. Let me think just for 1 second. But I'd probably have to say Moving Pictures just because,
Okay. All right. That's fair.
that was the album
the
that
safe
I
answer.
had. And it's the album that I had when I was a kid, and that was when Tom Sawyer came out, everybody was like, "Holy crap!" So
that was the one
I
for
guess
you.
that would have to be it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that was one. I guess if you never bought another Rush album, there was more peer pressure in 1981 than ever before.
But I will say this: Fly By Night was amazing, and that was the other one that I had.
Nice. Good call.
And we just celebrated the 30th anniversary of Fly By
Jesus,
Night.
it's been 30 years since Fly By Night.
35th. I'm sorry. We had a huge party
Christ.
here. It was crazy. It was like all these owls floating around the studio. It was fucking crazy. I mean, we
Amazing.
really went nuts.
Way to go.
All right, dude. Thank
Guys,
you for
thanks,
coming.
guys. Right
you
on.
want to play a tune real quick? And then,
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll walk right
Absolutely. I'm going to hit you with, what do we got here? Oh, how about a little Maiden? Little Maiden?
Well done.
Little Maiden.
eagles. This savage black hole.
Extra, extra pinball bonanza, death diamond blanket makes the big game. Saturday final, faces the champ. Extra, extra.
And welcome back to Used Bin Radio.
Hi there. Welcome back. That was a whole lot of fun, reminiscing about the good old KIK Tracee days and some of those silly shows and sort of what happened to the band. And I love that track off his new record. It's really great. So you can check that out if you liked it. RobGrad.com, and the album is called No Apologies. Really good stuff. And I also loved that live version of Brave New World.
Yeah, that was pretty great. No apologies about that either.
None.
Yeah, that was
None
pretty
whatsoever.
sweet. That was off the Live in Rio record, which we were just talking about this offline, but they played an awful lot of the Brave New World record on that tour, which was the first one after Bruce rejoined, the first record. They actually did a tour when Bruce rejoined before that.
It was
if you
the Greatest
remember.
Hits tour.
It was the Ed Hunter tour.
We saw that at the Greek.
Yeah, because they were actually not promoting a record, but they were promoting a video game.
I remember.
Remember that?
Yeah. And I think what I remember most is I think you wore a peach shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
No, I did. I did. But you know what was funny about that was all of our friends had to point it out to you that you're standing next to Joe and he's wearing a peach shirt at an Iron Maiden show.
But I was okay with it.
You were okay because you've known me so long it didn't even faze you that I was wearing peach to Maiden.
Is that weird?
I guess that's like the fashion police were going to kick my ass that night.
That's all right. I had your back. I had your back. Rach, did you dig that Maiden?
I did.
Cool, right?
I was rocking out. I didn't even hear my phone ring. I was like, what?
It's always good stuff. I love that Brave New World record. It's like we were just saying. I mean, how often is it that the lead singer of a huge band like that can come back after a long hiatus and make a record that solid, cover to cover? That is a solid record.
Yeah, kind of like when Halford rejoined Priest and they did Nostradamus. Never mind.
No,
never
they
mind.
did Angels of Retribution was the first
that's
record.
right. That's right.
And that record kind of blew too.
Loch Ness, the 10-minute epic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't quite pull it off, did they?
No. Wow.
So, Rach, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding. What's going on in the music news?
Okay, well, I think I'll just start out by saying, just to follow up last week's, just to mention that Abbey Road Studios is officially off the market. They're not going to sell it. Actually, they're going to preserve it as a music heritage landmark. So
that's good.
Because we were going to bid, you know?
I know, because you guys seriously were talking about bidding. I didn't want to get your hopes up too much.
We had at least like $46 or $47. We were ready to go.
Yeah, I think I had about $22.50 on me. But we were gonna build it. We were gonna put it in a special account, the Abbey Road
escrow,
the Used Bin Radio Abbey Road escrow account.
Right.
So we're fucked, obviously. That's pretty much what you're telling us. Basically, we can save our money and go buy Coke.
I'm screwed right now.
Dr. Drew.
I'm screwed right now because Brad just handed me a piece of cake, so I can't even talk right now.
Lemon cake. It's good, isn't it?
It was really good.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good cake. It's pretty good.
Wow.
What else is
happening? No Abbey Road.
No Abbey Road.
So, have you guys heard about the new announcement for the High Voltage Festival? They just added Transatlantic, UFO, Venom, Dweezil, Zappa Play Zappa.
So Zappa Plays Zappa and Transatlantic are now on the High Voltage Festival?
Yes.
Wow.
Along with Joe Marillion. Are you going to go see that, Joe?
You know, I'm seriously considering heading over there for that because any opportunity for me to see my boys is a good thing. Although right now we're in the planning stages of our next European trip. We had a little get together actually at Joe's Garage Pub the other night with some of our Marillion friends, and we're planning the next Holland trip for the convention next March. So
very nice.
So I'm not sure if I would make it this summer and then again in March, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to take you up on that. He's trying to hand me another piece of cake. I think it's his way of trying to monopolize the radio time.
I just like watching you melt in ecstasy.
No, well, it isn't from even the cake. It's from listening to Dance on a Volcano in the background.
Is that what it is?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dance on a Volcano on a Tuesday night? I'm so in.
Oh, Rachel, what have you gotten yourself into?
A lot of havoc here.
We got a lot going on.
Seriously. So, when is that High Voltage Festival?
That's July 24th and July 25th.
Oh, that is fantastic. Where is that?
It's in England.
London.
Yeah.
Is that Donington?
No, it's not Donington.
Where is it? Where?
The Download Festival is now what they
that's
used to call the
Donington,
Donington Festival, and I think that's usually like August, September, toward the end of the summer.
So Transatlantic, Zappa plays Zappa. Who else is on that? High
Marillion.
Marillion.
Marillion, Asia, Foreigner, Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, there's a
Foreigner.
There's a whole situation going on.
Transatlantic and Foreigner on the same
right.
bill.
Yeah, right.
What the hell happened?
That's like, remember when we had Ian from Saga on here? We were talking about some of the summer festivals he was going to be playing, and some of them were like, it was like Saga, Journey, Foreigner, and then it was like Venom. It's like, really?
Yeah, so weird. That's an odd
you gotta
bill.
love the European festivals for that reason.
Who's the headliner on High Voltage?
I don't remember.
Do you know that, Rach?
Well, they listed it originally as Foreigner, and then they got Heaven and Hell, and ZZ Top they listed as the headliner. So
we have Sabbath, Foreigner, Transatlantic, Zappa, and Marillion.
Yeah, that's pretty wacky.
They have 3 stages. They have one that's like the metal stage, the prog stage, and then the classic rock stage.
I got okay. That makes a little more sense.
They have a huge prog stage. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Anyone else? Oh, I bet you Big Alpha's on that bill.
I think they were actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't think not yet. I don't think so. Not yet.
Maybe that's a different festival then.
Very, very wacky.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great festival.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need that festival here.
Yeah.
Well, what we have here is. Did you hear that Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper are touring only in North America together?
I did. I saw that today, and I was I wasn't quite sure if I needed to be at that show.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to see either of them anymore. Me personally.
I've
seen Alice Cooper. I've been seeing him. God, I've been seeing him for over 30 years.
But I saw the last Alice Cooper show I saw was the Trash Tour, and I'll never go again. Yeah. That was what I was thinking then. But part of me feels like maybe this will bring out the old Alice Cooper.
Well, I don't know. Even when he brings out the old Alice Cooper now, all it really is the old Alice Cooper.
Yeah, it's just trying to have like a big gore fest.
Right. I don't know. So. I mean, if he did
a tour with Gall, now you're talking.
In his underpants.
Now you're talking. I could hand him a little piece of lemon cake.
What?
I don't know. It's a stream of consciousness thing.
What would you go see an Alice Cooper show if he was just doing the Welcome to My Nightmare tour?
I probably would, yeah. But if it was in like a reasonable sized theater instead of like him doing like an arena.
No, I think that would be like a Wiltern or a Universal or 4,000 seater.
I'd do that. I would do that.
But you know what he's doing? He's actually he's building a Broadway show that's based on Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could support that. Brad and I were at the Grammys and we watched Green Day perform with the cast members of is it American Idiot?
Yeah,
the stage show, the Broadway version of American Idiot, and they lost so many credibility points in my eyes that night because it's fine if that show's going on and it's fine if they go out and play live, but when those two worlds collided, it was just so awful.
Oh, they butchered it.
It was so cheesy.
Really was bad. There was nothing really good about it at all. I couldn't.
It reminded me of and. I don't know, maybe you were a fan. I think we've talked about this, but I don't remember. But about 10 years ago or so, when they did the Broadway version of Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I hated that.
Now, obviously, I'm a Who fan. I love the Tommy album. It was one of my favorite records of the 70s. I mean, it's genius. He's eating more lemon cake, Rachel. I don't know what I'm going to do here. But when they cheesed it up for that Broadway production, it was just so uncomfortably bad.
It was so I wanted to walk out.
Yeah.
It was how bad it was. I was really, really. I mean, they wrote some new songs
Yeah,
for the
you
play.
just-
It's just you don't fuck with perfection.
Yeah, revisionist
They
history.
really did.
They did the same thing actually for the movie version of Tommy. If you remember, they actually wrote a few songs that were unique. Well, like the theme song that we play for
Look.
Rachel every week.
Look, Anne Margaret and Rex Beans.
Yeah, well, that was the pinnacle
You
scene.
want to talk about perfection?
That was pretty much
That
it.
is perfection.
Yeah.
Anne Margaret and Rex Beans.
No, I just got to ask. I watched that movie, and sometimes I laugh. But what was going through their heads when they said, "We got to cast Jack Nicholson"?
Right.
We got to cast Jack Nicholson to sing the overture to Tommy, the Doctor.
Oh yeah, I love it. But
I
Tina
don't
Turner
know.
was great.
I don't know about
But that was Tina Turner's finest moment.
Sure.
I'm a gypsy.
Yeah. The Acid Queen, baby.
That's it.
I love that. I really do think that was one of her finest moments, actually.
Sure.
So
Sure.
All right, now that we completely lost topic, what were you talking about, Rach? I'm completely lost.
High Voltage Festival.
I'm in lemon cake mode.
He's in lemon cake mode. Actually, since we were talking about High Voltage Festival, I'll just wrap this portion of your topic up by saying that because Marillion are on that festival, they just announced today that they're actually going to be doing a co-headlining tour. Unfortunately, it doesn't come to America, but in Europe, they're doing a co-headlining tour later this year with Deep Purple.
Marillion?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and that's
What
an
a great tour.
interesting little double bill. So Deep Purple and Marillion, looks like a lot of Germany dates so far, and a lot of other European dates to follow, and that'll be mostly like I think October, November.
That's great.
Yeah, so that'll be good for them. It'll be great for Deep Purple fans to discover something new, and it'll be
Sure.
great for Marillion fans to get
your Deep Purple on.
your Deep Purple on. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Or you Ben fans, try and start your voting and try and get them over here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Where do we vote?
Yeah, it's at Marillion.com. You can find a better way of life.
Ay. I
Okay.
walked right into that, didn't I?
What
Rach,
else?
do you have
what else
one
is
more
going
for
on?
us?
Well, okay, so I've been noticing that there's a trend in drummers starting the release of new albums. Travis Barker is going to be releasing an album, and he's basically going all over the map in the genres of music, from metal, electronica, hip-hop, punk rock. He has a Slipknot frontman, Corey Taylor, is going to be singing on one song. And, he played on that Mary J. Blige
Right, Stairway to
horrible
Heaven.
rendition, yes.
Have you heard it?
I've heard bits and pieces,
Yeah.
and I'm not impressed. I
No.
wasn't expecting anything, but I expected a little more, I should say, than what I got.
Yeah,
So,
I had bad feelings about it going in, but when I actually heard some of it, it didn't matter that it was Steve Vai or anybody else. Nothing was going to salvage this because it's just one of those. It's just one of those sacred things. You just don't touch it. I don't care. I don't care who you are. You just don't touch Stairway.
It's true.
Yeah,
I agree. I concur.
unless you're going to blow it out of the water and do a whole new rendition that people are going to be like, wow.
But there's certain songs you just don't touch. Stairway to Heaven is certainly one of those songs.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have almost picked any other song.
Yeah, I mean, even Puffy got away with doing Kashmir. Well, barely got away with doing Kashmir, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, you could have done any other song and maybe gotten away with it. But
That's the wrong song.
That's the wrong song.
Yeah. You know, my problem with drummers doing records is that if you have people singing on those records, it becomes their song. It doesn't become the drummer's song. Like if Corey Taylor is singing on a Travis Barker song, to me that's Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Right.
It's nothing to do with Travis Barker. Do you know
Right.
does that make sense?
Totally.
Sort of like
Well, Taylor Hawkins has another album coming out.
but he sings.
And he sings,
Yeah.
and he's having like Roger Taylor and
Yeah.
Brian May.
I have that first record, Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders.
Wait, so it's
really
gonna,
good.
So it's going to be Taylor Hawkins and Roger Taylor?
Yeah.
Can they get like Taylor Swift on there too? Maybe James Taylor?
Oh yeah, and they can get what's his name from American Idol? Taylor
Hicks.
Taylor Hicks.
Sure. Wow.
And they can get. Isn't there another Taylor from Hanson?
They could get my Taylor who did my suit the other day.
Isn't there a Taylor and Hanson? Taylor
Sure,
Hanson.
Sure.
So you can get Taylor Hanson, Taylor Hicks.
What would they call this record?
Fucking Taylor. Wow, that's a great idea. I love that. I love that first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Los Angeles.
I'd like to thank the Academy. Thank you very much. I love the first Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders record. It's a really good record. It's a great pop record. I'm sure this record will be really good too. But I just, it's like with Slash when he's doing this solo record. It'll feel like a Slash record because Slash has such a signature guitar sound. But if you put Travis Barker with 10 different frontmen, it's 10 different frontmen. And it has nothing really to do with Travis Barker. Unless he's going to do an instrumental of impress me and do some jazz.
Sure.
Like that.
Sure.
Then it'll feel like a Travis Barker.
I love when the metal guys or the hard rock guys, sort of stretch their realm a little bit and go into some areas. That's the thing I loved, and we've talked about this. That's the thing I loved so much about what was his name from Megadeth?
Dave Elfson?
No, the other one when he formed Ohm.
Right. It was
Marty
Friedman.
Yeah, when he formed the little jazz trio. Fusion trio. It was wacky. So I love when they do that kind of thing. Yeah. It's good fun.
I'm with you.
It's good fun. That's why I like Taylor Swift, because she's doing fusion jazz now.
Yeah. But you can't hear her talking.
Jazz.
Well, you can't even hear her singing, really, because she's gurgling on Taylor Hicks's testicles. Thank you. I'm here all week, folks.
Thank you, Los Angeles.
I'll be here next week, next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
All right, Rachel, thank you.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Do you have anything else that we should know about? Because I'm eating lemon cake and starting to bounce off the walls.
He's eating an awful lot of lemon cake. I'm seeing him bounce around to the Dream Theater right now.
Since you guys mentioned you were talking about jazz, I thought I'd mention that there's a place in Studio City called the Baked Potato.
Sure.
And in May, actually, they're hosting a 40th anniversary jazz festival, and one of the bands playing is called Volto. And it's the drummer, Danny Carey from Tool, is in that band. And it's a whole jazz fest with all kinds of, legendary jazz musicians. So
I'd go.
Tickets and check it out.
I'd be there in a minute.
Have you ever been up there, Rachel? Baked Potato?
I have not. And, from doing some of this research, I have decided that I better check it out.
We should make a night of it, even if it's not for that. Just one night. We should get the whole Used Bin crew.
Just you and Rachel?
Well, the whole Used Bin crew.
Not just you and Rachel?
No. We'll get everybody together.
Think Chris would feel weird about that?
Well, if I bring some lemon cake, it'll probably be okay.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just you and Rachel are going to Baked Potato? What? Not just you and Rachel are going? Are you guys going to dinner? You guys are going to dinner first? So wait a minute. You guys are going to dinner and then you're going to the Baked Potato? This is fucking ridiculous. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here next week, folks, every Tuesday night, 8 to 10, Pacific Standard Time. Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful.
On a roll, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Rach, have a great night.
All right, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
Hasn't Alan Holdsworth played there and stuff?
I've seen Alan play there.
At the Baked Potato?
At the Baked Potato.
Without Rachel?
I wasn't with Rachel that night, no. But I did order some lemon cake, if that makes you feel better. It's a whole stream of consciousness thing we got going on. So
it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. How are we doing on time?
We got days of time. We're all over the place. I just wanted to mention to you one other. We were talking about some reissues earlier, like the Nebworth Festival was just reissued, and something else we were talking about. I forget now. But here's another one. Again, time flies. Disturbed, The Sickness. 10 years old.
10 years?
It's being re-released.
10 years?
10 years. 10 years, man!
10 years?
10 years!
10 years!
What is it? You ever see Grosse Pointe Blank?
That's what I was.
10 years, man!
It's Jeremy Piven.
That's awesome.
Dude, what have you... 10 years!
10 years! But yeah, they're re-releasing the Sickness album. They brought in Neil Avron, don't know him, to remix the album. And so I think it's 2 discs. I think one is a remix and one is a remaster of the original. And there's a couple of bonus tracks. And 10 years, man.
Dropping plates.
That is just crazy.
10 years of dropping plates.
Wow.
Great record. Love that record.
Absolutely.
I wanted to mention this, too. I was going to mention it at the top of the show. But then we got Rob in here. And last week, at the end of our show last week, we were talking about Stryper. And Joe had mentioned that they were doing a record of covers,
right?
And after
which sparked the whole conversation about Oz Fox's wife.
That's right. And after our show, if you continue to listen to us on Pure Rock Radio, .net, you will know that Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas is on right after us. And Corey Draper and those guys were talking. They picked up sort of right where we left off. And I had called in the show and heard all the stories about Annie, which is the whore wife of Oz Fox, who is a
hookers for Jesus.
Yeah, she's a reformed whore, and now she tries to get other whores off the street to stop whoring themselves. And so it started a whole conversation. But what had sparked that was that Joe had mentioned that they will be covering an Iron Maiden song, and I thought it would be funny if they covered Charlotte the Harlot.
Right.
They're not covering Charlotte the Harlot.
What are they covering?
The Trooper.
Oh, beautiful.
But what that means, though, is that this is... I only got 3 of them that they'll be covering. They're doing the Scorpions' Blackout, Judas Priest's Breaking the Law, and Maiden's The Trooper. So it's going to be a record of all the obvious hits, which I'm not really excited about.
You see the microphones up in the air? You see them?
Yeah, I wish they were doing... I wish they get a little more creative and dig a little bit in the catalog, but I think it'll be fun to hear Stryper do The Trooper.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that Michael?
Scream for me, Jesus.
What's his name? Michael Sweet?
Michael Sweet.
Michael Sweet will be
Scream for me, Jesus.
That's right. That's great. Can you see the Bibles in the air? Can you see them? Here's one more quick news story that I wanted to get to, was that I thought it was funny how we were talking about The Who, how both of us weren't very impressed with their halftime performance at the Super Bowl.
Right.
And apparently neither was the band. And apparently Townsend's talking about sort of retiring because of his tinnitus in his ears. And on the heels of that, Daltrey has come out and said that he would like to form a blues band with Jimmy Page.
Well, wouldn't every singer want to do that?
But this is pretty realistic, you would think.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so.
Because I think if anyone could make that call, I'm guessing Daltrey probably has the phone.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Or Coverdale.
Are you or Coverdale? Are you in for that? I'd be down for that.
Absolutely.
And in this piece,
I would rather hear Roger at this point. I think sing some blues and blow some harmonica.
Absolutely.
Than go through the motions of My Generation or Won't Get Fooled Again. In
2 octaves lower because he can't hit the notes. I completely agree. And it's funny. He says that in the article that I read, that he would much rather go back to the roots and just do a good old blues group with Jimmy Page instead of a rock and roll band. And I'm in. That excites me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the Who wasn't so great on the Super Bowl. The other thing that wasn't so great, we talked about this a little bit, was the missed opportunity of Rush not playing the opening ceremonies at the Olympics. Although there's still rumors floating around. I can't get a read on it yet, but still rumors that they may pop up and do the closing ceremonies.
I read on Rush is a Band this week that somebody...
You mean the Ed Stenger site? Yeah. RushIsABand.com?
Greatest website for Rush news on the planet. Anyone interested in Rush wants to know the latest on all your Rush news, you go to RushIsABand.com.
Right.
Anyway, I did read on there somebody had sent something in, and I guess maybe they're starting to talk about now that they were never supposed to play. It was all just rumor and conjecture.
Oh, really?
So, but I guess there's a non-disclosure. Non-disclosure, but I don't know. They can't talk about it.
Right.
So,
well, even the people that did play the opening ceremonies, they couldn't talk about it because I remember I forget where I was reading it, but somebody had interviewed Bryan Adams like a week before the Olympics and said, "Are you going to be at the Olympics?" And he said, "I'm not sure yet."
Right.
Obviously he'd been rehearsing for it, but couldn't speak about it. So
I think every time they went to Rush's management over at Anthem, I think they said. When they asked them about it and they said they couldn't comment, that meant, obviously they're in because if you can't comment, that means you're there. If you didn't sign the non-disclosure, then you would just say no.
Now, if they do play, I mean, I assume YYZ would be the sort of the obvious choice, or maybe closer closer to the heart. But what realistic song? Realistic. I mean, they're not pulling out Didax and Narpits.
No, Didax and Narpits.
Not
Cinderella Man.
No, they're not doing any of that. They're not doing Tai Shan for you.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
What realistic song would you think they would do?
They'll do Limelight, maybe.
Yeah,
I think
that's
they could
reasonable.
Do Closer to the Heart. I think they could do Spirit of the Radio. I think they could do, obviously, almost anything off of Moving Pictures, with the exception of Witch Hunt.
Yeah.
Although that'd be pretty fucking cool.
How cool would it be? And I think this is within the realm of possibility if they were going to play. If they were to be introduced by Bob and Doug McKenzie and do a little bit of Take Off.
Take Off.
Right? That would be so Canadian.
$10 is $10.
That would be good.
Only if they're wearing a toque.
Well, sure.
Yeah. All right, you want to play a quick tune?
I do, but
I have something for you.
Before I did,
Okay.
I want to take one more minute and mention this. So we've talked about like Super Bowl, and we've talked about the Olympics, and the other thing that happened recently was during the was it during the Olympics? I think it was during the Olympics where they debuted the new "We Are the World."
Oh yeah, it was the beginning of the opening ceremony,
which was an utter piece of crap, and we're going to devote 0 time to "We Are the World" starting tomorrow. But
starting at 10:01.
But for tonight, there's one thing that I wanted to play for you because I just thought this was really kind of funny. It's weird that they didn't bring back any of the people who sang on the original, and one guy in particular, I think, took offense to it and made a bit of a joke out of it. So I just want to play you this and see what you think, if I could find it here.
Do you like this song, by the way?
Yeah, I'm loving this song.
I can't believe you haven't made one mention of it. I'm actually disappointed in you.
I'm loving this song. But here, check this out. Here's Jimmy Kimmel to introduce it, and then you'll see what's going on with Huey Lewis.
I like the original better. I like the original "We Are the World." Unfortunately, well, they didn't, for some reason, none of the singers from the original were invited to participate. Even Lionel Richie, who wrote the song, just kind of hung back and watched. And that's a shame. So one of the guys from the original song, one of the stars, just put out his own charity single, which I think is a great idea, and the song itself is really good. Take a look.
There comes a time when I heed a certain call, when I come together as one. There are people singing, they all forgot to call. Oh, why didn't anyone call me? I am the world, I am the children, I am the one that they forgot to call, but I'm still singing. I spent a lot of money to rent this studio, try to make a better day, just me and me. Woo!
So that's cute.
That's cute.
That's Huey just being
funny.
silly, and we like that.
You know, I actually saw that. Remember, I told you after we heard that this was coming together and they were doing this, after they had done it, that Beyonce and Jay-Z blew them off.
Right.
Apparently, the deal was Jay-Z had no interest in being a part of it because he thought it was, you know, for lack of a better term, blasphemous that they would remake that they would do this song.
All right,
a lot of respect for Jay-Z.
All right,
for saying that.
if that's the reasoning, then I'm in.
Well done.
Then I'm in.
He said, you know, if they wanted to do something for charity, which is a great cause, the whole Haiti thing. I heard something happen in Haiti, so I think that's what they were doing it for. But then they should have done a whole new song.
Yeah.
You can't mess with something that was perfect.
Right.
And that was a pretty great tune.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I couldn't agree more with them.
Yeah, nice. I wish Steve Vai would have made the same decision when he got the call from Mary J. Blige.
Right. Hey, got a great idea. Or they could have just been making memories.
Yeah. Nice. You think they'll play this at the closing ceremonies?
Why isn't this song played live?
Yeah, right?
Seriously. You want to get into this whole conversation?
What's your conversation?
We've talked about this 1,000 times. Are you going to tell me they can't do like they used to do this little acoustic portion of the show
when they used to do Resist?
They couldn't throw this in.
They could bust this out, go into a little bit of different strings.
Fucking song rules.
Totally. They could go into Tears. Right?
Fucking great piece. Come on.
Acoustic version of Taishan, just for you. They go, this one's for you, Brad.
As I sit at the top of the mountain when China sang to me.
The entire arena would be silent, except Brad would be going, woo! Pass me another piece of lemon cake.
That's right. All right. So I have something for you, Mama.
All right, what do you got?
That I'd like to play with you.
Okay.
We're going to bring it back. We haven't done it in a long time.
Okay.
And Joe's got no idea where I'm going
I have no idea where you're going.
We're going to bring it back. It's the game show that's been sweeping the nation. It's a little game that we like to call overrated and underrated.
Okay, I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. What's the topic?
I'm just going to throw some things out at you, and let's discuss.
Oh, okay. Just random.
Yes.
All right.
Things you have no clue I'm going to talk about.
All right, fair enough.
Okay,
I'm ready.
ready?
All right, wait. Let me adjust in the sack. Okay. All right, go.
You know, we got an email, by the way, early at some point that said I do a lot of cussing, which I think is a bunch of fucking shit. I really do. I think that's all fucking crap.
Oh, man.
Anthrax. Overrated, underrated, or on the money?
Totally overrated. Got to be honest with you. Think they're totally overrated. Even the fact that they, I think, in retrospect, their claim to fame will be that they were one of those bands that bridged the metal and rap. Yeah, don't care. I don't think it was that great of a song, and I don't think they were that great of a band. I think they had a few good songs, but they were a footnote in the Metallica Megadeth Slayer.
What do you think?
Chapter.
What is the perception of Anthrax?
These days, I think the perception is state fair.
Well, that's the thing. So if the perception of Anthrax is like state fair, you know what I mean? They're basically, they sell out large clubs.
Yeah, I think
they sell out like 1,000-seat clubs.
The fact that their name was thrown into the mix for that summer festival tour with Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer, I think they probably blew their load and just thought,
Right.
oh God, we have hit the jackpot. We have hit the metal lotto right here.
But doesn't the fact that that's where they're playing now, doesn't that make them not overrated anymore? Because that's sort of where you think they should be.
Yeah, I don't think they were even in their heyday. I never really thought they were that great.
I saw them on the State of Euphoria tour.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really good. However, that was with Joey Belladonna singing. However,
yeah,
I didn't think it was the greatest thing I ever heard.
Right.
And even going back now and listening to some of those records, it's not like they totally hold up. Some of the songs do, like Caught in a Mosh and, NFL. Those songs are pretty good.
Indians
is great.
I like that.
Indians is great. That's in the rotation tonight if we get to it.
But the odd song does not a band make. And
I think I agree.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go overrated on that too.
Yeah. I think a lot of people really wave the flag of Anthrax like there's something there.
Yeah.
And I just don't think there's that much there. Yeah. And their contribution, like I said, to the rap metal crossover, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever. Aerosmith had already done it.
Yep. Although Anthrax did it consistently.
Yeah, well, whatever.
By the way,
so they take the blame for Limp Bizkit. Then I'll give them.
What about Kid Rock?
Well, he's more like a throw off from the Skinner days.
Now he is, but he wasn't back then. That first Kid Rock record wasn't.
That's true.
By the way, we're playing overrated, underrated, and you can chime in with your overrated, underrated. 310-840-4438 or Usebin Radio
at usebin.com.
Nice. And you can chime in. The phone lines are open with that. Okay. Next, overrated, underrated.
Okay.
Slash.
Interesting.
Yes.
Slash. I think pretty much right on the money, and I'll tell you why. I think the catalog and the songs that he's written, if anything, you would have a tendency to maybe overrate the guy and put him on a pedestal with like the Jimmy Pages and the major guitar players of the world. I don't put him in that realm, but he's certainly not just another guitarist from the 80s.
Would he have fit in that movie in the It Might Get Loud?
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of Jack White, you could have put Slash in there?
Absolutely. Although I don't know if Jimmy and Edge would have gone for that. Because I think the perception of Slash is a little bit more rooted in 80s arena rock. And I don't know that's something that they needed to explore. I think they were more interested in the craft of the guitar and the avant-garde. And
but I think Slash is a guitar collector.
Sure. But that wasn't the story. That wasn't the movie.
Well, I thought it was about, like you said, the craft of about the craft of playing.
The craft of playing the guitar.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, not of actually making the guitar. But so I think that the general perception maybe roots him a little bit more in the 80s than he actually is, because I think some of the stuff he does is much more modern.
Mm-hmm.
But he's certainly not, in my opinion, a Page, a Clapton, and Eddie Van Halen, somebody like that. So I think it's probably right on the money. I think the perception of him, I think it puts him just in the right place, above the 80s riffraff,
Right.
but below the superstars.
No Jeff
Super
Beck.
gods, right.
It's funny. I think that he is, because he's so prominent right now. He's everywhere, it seems like. The guy does all these interviews. There's sound bites of him, everywhere. I want to say he's overrated, and when I see him out there doing Paradise City with Fergie, I just want to fucking cringe.
Well, that was just a mistake.
I know, but that's on the record. That's
Yeah.
on his. I mean, he does those things. He'll get out there and he'll play with those kinds of people. I mean, you remember he was on a Michael Jackson track.
I don't think he was on the track. I think he played live on one of the awards shows.
No, I think he's on that record.
Really?
I do. I think
Okay.
I think he's on the record.
Okay.
It's on the bad record, not the bad record.
That was Steve Stevens. That was Dirty Diana.
That's right. The record after that.
The record after that, Dangerous, I remember Slash did a couple of things with Michael on award shows.
Either way,
Yeah.
but he even then he was sort of branching out and not being
Right.
sleazy stoner rocker guy.
Right.
I guess he's probably right on the money. I think he's a great guitar player. I really do. I think he's got a really great sound.
Yeah, very recognizable style,
Right.
and a very recognizable hat.
He makes playing slop. He can play tight sound sloppy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That was Jimmy Page made a career of that. You go back and listen.
That's right.
You go back and listen to the Presence album. Right?
That's right.
Which I'm a fan. I love the Presence album, but more so than anywhere in the Zeppelin catalog. You listen to that record and you go, God, listen to these great riffs. Wow, listen how badly he's playing.
Sure.
It's just full of mistakes, but in a great way. It's not like drunken falling down Jimmy Page making bad mistakes in the studio.
Yeah.
It was just more like the feel of going for it in one take.
Absolutely.
And whatever happens.
Well, I think Slash is very much like that. I don't know. I really want to say he's overrated. That's why I came up. That's why I thought of him tonight when I was putting some people down to play this game. I just don't think that. I feel like he's overexposed. I want him to
That's probably true.
I want him to sit down for a minute.
That's probably true.
Yeah. But all in all, I think you're right. I think he's probably right on the money.
Yeah,
I think he's probably right
I think
on
the
the money.
public perception of him puts him pretty much right where he belongs.
He's an elite player, but he's not with the super elite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Elvis Presley?
That's rough.
I know.
That's rough because all right, Elvis is the king and all, whatever. But
Well, he is the king and all.
But here's what I'll say, and this is borderline sacrilege, I guess. But if he had died 10 years earlier, he'd be awesome.
Because he would have been fat?
Well, because his catalog and his career became so diluted with a mess. It would be like if after he quit Guns N' Roses, if Axl had never done anything again. Not that I'm saying Axl is...
Has he?
I'm not saying that Axl is like Elvis, but if he had walked away from Guns and retired from music, he'd have a whole different perception than that guy who, was the prima donna who took 15 years to release, Chinese Disaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if sometime around the what was it, the 65 comeback special, if he had bit the dust like in a plane crash or something, like right after the comeback special, he'd be really famous right now.
I'll say this about Elvis Presley. I'm not an Elvis fan.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I respect the fact that he's a trailblazer. However, I don't really like him. I don't get it.
Yeah.
There's a couple Elvis tunes I get, but I don't get the fact that he's the fucking king.
I think we're just so far removed from it now. And granted, at the time, he was so revolutionary and so controversial, and it was not like anything else out there. But I think we're just all just so removed from it now, unless unless you were there, unless you were watching Ed Sullivan, and and you were there.
Overrated or underrated, Elvis Presley?
I think he's overrated. And the main reason I say that is because in the grand scheme of things, the catalog was so diluted. For the 10 years where he was epic, there was 10 years where he just he just desecrated his legacy.
I'll say overrated as well.
Yeah.
I've never gotten the mystique of Elvis, and you're right. Maybe it's because of my age, and I'm a little far removed from it. However, I never thought that it was. I just didn't think it was that great. I didn't think the tunes really supported the myth or the legend.
Yeah.
So that's just, I don't know. Like, maybe it's an age thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to a little more modern rock.
All right. What do
How
you got?
about James Hetfield? Overrated or underrated?
Oh, see, this is exactly the same conversation, because if he had quit the music business,
died in 1965,
well, if he had quit the music business, or if he had died, like when he went on fire at that stadium show, if that was the end of Hetfield, he would be such an icon in my eyes.
That was in Toronto with Guns N' Roses? Yeah, and Axl wouldn't go out on stage, caused the riot.
It's like a whole stream of consciousness thing we got going on here.
And then Elvis came out fat.
That's right.
Served popcorn.
That's right. Lemon cake.
And started selling slash hats.
Yeah, to ROB GRAD.
God bless him. Singing Blood Brother.
If Hetfield hadn't desecrated the Metallica legend the way he has.
How has James Hetfield desecrated the Metallica legend?
Dude, we disagree on this movie, but when I watch Some Kind of Monster, you love it apparently.
Loved it.
I cringe and go, oh my God, these guys are like metal rock stars, and they're just whiny bitches about he said, she said, and oh no, I'm not going to write with you, or I'll only write on you between 5 and 6 on Thursdays if my wife says so, and if my astrologist says the moon is rising in Uranus, and
that's all, but that's where they were.
Just drink some Jägermeister shots and get on with it.
The Jägermeister shots put him in that position. That's what they were figuring out.
Jägermeister shots gave us And Justice for All and Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning.
Yes, that's very true. But at the end, it almost killed the band.
All right, well.
So does the end justify the means?
Yes.
Look, Hetfield didn't have anything. I don't think that's Hetfield. You're taking out your anger on the wrong guy.
I don't know.
You're angry at Lars.
I'm really not. I'm really not.
Let me therapy upon you.
All right, go ahead.
You are angry.
Analyze me.
You are angry at Lars. Lars is the guy that perpetrates all this stuff because Lars really wants to be the front man. He wants to be the guy. He's upset that he is behind a fucking drum riser and he doesn't get the recognition that he wants. Therefore, he is out front doing interviews. He's the one that stands up and grabs the microphone and talks between songs and this and that. He's so bad, wants to be James, James is just fucking cool. He may be a fucking drunk, but he's pretty cool. James is a bad boy. James is a bad boy. Lars is a fucking whiny bitch.
I don't know. He used to be a rock star, and now he just seems to be a hick.
James?
Yeah.
Dude, did you not listen to Death Magnetic?
Yeah, it had some moments. Like I've said, it was a step in the right direction. And
it's a heavy record.
And it was heavy and it rocked, but it's not really memorable for me. I like the direction. And if they stay in that direction and have some Jägermeister shots next time around, we might get something really good.
So how does James... Up your love in your cup. We don't play a lot of Stones on this show.
Not too much.
So how does Hetfield rank then for you? I mean, think about what you're saying.
I think he's a little overrated. Not a lot, but I think he's a little overrated.
What's the perception of Hetfield?
I think the perception is that he is like
bad boy.
Well, I think the perception is probably universally very similar to the Lon Friend perception, which we've talked about on the show, which is that he's that guy, and they're the Led Zeppelin of our generation, and he's the front man, and he's the poster boy for metal in the new world.
I definitely wouldn't say, if that's really the perception, then I would say highly, highly overrated. But I think that's Metallica as a whole.
Well, yeah, I think
individually.
If you ask the common guy on the street in middle America, about Metallica and James Hetfield, he's the front man for the largest metal band in history or something like that. And I
think he is.
So yeah, but
maybe not in history, but he's the front man for the biggest metal band in the world.
But you know what? As huge as they are, they're not the Led Zeppelin of our generation. They're just
no. But I don't think anybody's the Zeppelin of our generation.
Right. All right.
I would never say that.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Except for their version of Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. Do I have time for one more, or do we need to do some other stuff?
Do one more, and then I have a question for you.
Okay. This one I thought. Which one do I want to do? All right.
Lemon cake, overrated
Let's
or
go
underrated?
this one. No, I was going to give you one that's really close to you.
Okay.
But I don't think I'll get a good answer.
Oh, okay.
I was going to give you Morrissey, but I think you're a little too close.
Probably because the more
you ignore him, the closer you get.
My gut reaction is that he's a little underrated.
Let's not go there. Let's go Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia. I think he's right on the money, and I'll tell you why.
so?
I'll tell you why. The guy was revolutionary in music as far as defining a new genre. The whole jam band style, I think you can attribute not just to the Grateful Dead, who championed the genre, but I think singularly to Jerry. I think he was a great player, great songwriter. It was certainly a bit of an acquired taste for a lot of people, but I think the public perception of him is he's not necessarily thought of as the great guitarist or the great songwriter, but more sort of the symbolic head of the hippie movement in a way, or something like that, which he is. And I don't love a lot of Grateful Dead music, but
Right.
I liked what they did.
Right.
And so I think pretty much right on the money, I guess.
My thing with Jerry is that he was, I'm going to say, overrated, because I think he's been hailed as a messiah. He's not just the face of the jam band movement or the face of the Grateful Dead. He's the face of a homeless generation, and I fucking hate that generation.
You don't like the twirling girls with the
patchouli
barefoot?
oil and smelly people and fucking not.
Oh, sorry, that was a little abrupt, wasn't it?
That was a little early. Give me 2 seconds. Let me finish my Jerry Garcia thought. I just think he's the face of like a patchouli oil, homeless, smelly generation, and I love the. I like the Dead. I really do. I tend to think that the perception of him is that he's a messiah, and I just think he was a good songwriter, and he was the face of the movement, not the face of. Not a messianic type.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah,
I think people think that about him. Like, I remember the day that he died, fucking the unemployment rate went down.
Yeah.
They all had to get jobs.
I'm sure you still get, people who are like dropping tabs of acid and throwing their hands in the air and genuflecting and going, Jerry!
Right. But he's not that guy. It's like what they do with Elvis.
Yeah.
Although I think the music supports the Dead much more than the music supports Elvis. The legend of the Dead.
Interesting, because I don't think most people would agree with you on that.
No, I'm sure.
But
listen, I'm used to nobody agreeing with me.
So you'd rather hear Dark Star than Hound Dog?
Damn right.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, damn right.
If you wanted to buy like the domain name of like Jerry Garcia is the Messiah.com,
yeah,
where would you go?
Well, I would say that that's right, you could get your piece of the internet with GoDaddy.com. You can go to purerockradio.net/
Not Axel.
GoDaddy for coupon codes like 10% off all GoDaddy hosting plans.
Really?
$5 off any GoDaddy purchases of $30 or more.
Really?
Or $7.49 domain names.
I wasn't aware.
Hey, thanks to this new partnership, all purchases using our coupon codes will directly benefit shows like Used-Bin Radio. That's purerockradio.net/
Not Axel.
GoDaddy for a complete list of coupon codes, or enter POD167 to save 10% on all GoDaddy hosting packages today.
When?
Today.
Really?
That's today.
Ah.
Hey, let's, we're running fucking late. Are we running late?
Metal!
How are we doing on time?
Let's say a few thank yous.
Okay. Hey, Rich at Pure Rock Radio. Thanks. Sean Gordon at progrock.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Edwards and Max Krasny.
Thank you.
Chris Stone and Rob Wilson at usedbin.com.
Thank you.
And remember to stick around for Pure Rock Radio Live in Las Vegas. That follows us immediately after this live program from Los Angeles. You can listen to Pure Rock Radio Live in Las Vegas.
Indeed, because those guys are really funny.
Those guys are really funny.
Yeah, and check out our podcast. and podcast survey. We're still taking surveys if you want to give us your comments, compliments, and digs.
That's at purerockradio.net. Just go to the podcast section on the website
and look for the survey and give us your comments. As always, if you have any requests or any topics or anything you just want to get off your chest, drop us an email for next week at usebinradio@usebin.com. Special thanks to Rob Grad for dropping in.
Brilliant.
Talking a little KIK Tracee. Talking about the Tracees.
Yeah, that was a bit unexpected. That was really kind of fun. Enjoyed that a lot. And as always, Joe Mama.
Sir.
It's nice to see you, pal.
And to see you is really nice. I did it again.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
There we go. Later.
See you next week, y'all.
Used Bin Radio. What are you listening to?
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
You're listening to a live internet broadcast on Pure Rock Radio.
At purerockradio.net.